The printed newspaper. Well, some people will tell you that the joys of reading a fresh copy early in the morning over a hot cup of tea are second to none. But unfortunately, it looks like all's not well in the print industry, and something seems to be beating it at its own game. It was the online world which first reported that Michael Jackson had died, and in 1998, it was the internet which first broke the news that former President Bill Clinton was having an affair with a White House intern, namely Monica Lewinsky. So with dwindling sales, lower profits, and a massive drop in circulation, the newspaper is fast approaching some sort of an abyss. Two reasons for the internet's charm are that no organization is able to control online media because anyone's attempt to manipulate public opinion will just be a drop of water in the sea of over 156 million websites. And secondly, it's instantaneous news. I'm your host Saira Akhtar, and today we'll be discussing with our experts, both local and international, the future of the newspaper and how some say the internet is killing it. So stop whatever you're doing and plunge yourself into the world of Wired and Active. And what would life be like without our political blogs? It's time now for Keyboard Politics, the place where we give you a weekly roundup of the news that's been making the headlines. The blog Gappu.com reported under the title Terrible Blunder at Presidency, where he shows a picture of the Pakistan team in a photo op with the top leadership. So you may ask what the blunder is. Well, as a keen observer, he notes that the president's wall is lined with pictures of the Bhutto clan. He goes on to say that the President House is the temporary residence for the President of Pakistan, and the public avenue of the presidency should have remained uninfluenced. Rohail Bhatt wrote a post on the blog Pak Spectator under the heading Lay Down or Stand Up, where he goes on to say that Pakistan has two options, either to surrender before the terrorists or fight with them. Also, that he has had enough of terrorism, as the terrorists have been targeting innocent people, and they have no link with Islam. Lastly, he says that the success of the operation will not depend upon the number of Taliban killed, but rather on the solidity of the writ of the government out there. And finally, to a post titled Zardari's Freudian Slip on Teeth Maestro. Here he mentions the slip of the tongue by our president Asif Ali Zardari, and that wasn't all. Apparently, his son's statement too caught his eye when he said that registering an FIR would be to undermine the magnificence of Benazir Bhutto. The blogger's next question is what everyone should be asking as to why there's been no police case registered as of yet, and why no attempt is being made to bring her assassins to justice. With local headlines out of the way, it's time for the weekly international news in our Global Wires segment. Michael Jackson is such a superstar that he brought down Twitter and created chaos at Google. Seconds after the story broke on the American entertainment website TMZ.com, messages or tweets about the singer on Twitter doubled, leading to a temporary shutdown of the site. The story created such a surge in online traffic that Google returned an error message for searches of the singer's name, as it assumed it was under attack. He truly was the king. Last week, we reported on how cyberspace has become a recruiting tool for terrorist organizations, while Defense Secretary Robert Gates has issued an order establishing the US Cyber Command to oversee military cyberspace operations. Gates said that America's increasing dependency on cyberspace, alongside a growing array of cyber threats and vulnerabilities, adds a new element of risk to their national security. America is finally waking up to the threat posed by these tech-savvy outfits. And lastly, over to China. Its green dam filtering software just cannot seem to stay away from the limelight. Google and Gmail were briefly blocked in China as authorities in the country tried to exercise more control over internet content by cracking down on porn. Now, if you're wondering what porn and Google have in common, well, China's at odds with Google's autocomplete suggestion features, and so, in an attempt to clean up the internet, banned the famous search engine in the process. The 21st century has seen traditional newspaper organizations making their presence felt online, and that's also true of Pakistani circulations. Zaila Sarhadi reports on the web presence of Pakistani newspapers.
Life has become so fast and there's no time for turning pages and flipping magazines just to be aware of the current headlines. when all this is just a click away. There are over 300 Pakistani newspapers which can now be accessed online. For the reader's convenience, they are either in Urdu or in English. Dawn.com is an intelligently designed website which mixes vibrant colors, visuals and crisp text, all blended together to bring you the latest from Pakistan and around the world. Moving on with the news, it's chronologically distributed in sections. The site incorporates all the magazines that come under the same banner. The use of orange, blue and white is predominant, making it pleasing for the reader's eyes. Daily Jung is the most widely circulated and read Urdu newspaper of the country. The placement of sections, headlines and movements of images is reversed, adhering to the opposite-sided official language of the country. Updates keep the site fresh and reliable. When you glance at the Daily Times site for the first time, it's not visually pleasing. The momentary displeasure aside, it does justice with the news content. There is a separate section for main news followed by news characterized city, region and content-wise, making it comprehensive. Business Recorder is the leading business newspaper of the country. The constantly moving world of finance is widely depicted in the online version of the newspaper as well. Top stories, documents, readers' comments, supplements, currency converters are all available in this information-packed website. This form of obtaining knowledge might be frowned upon by many. If anything, it has made this news biz more competitive, efficient and accurate, because inaccuracy will render these organizations worthless and hence, as they say, no hits on the website. Zaila Saradi, DawnNews.
We're due for a quick break, but coming up on the other side, we look at the realities of the situation at home. So don't go anywhere.